The recorded history of Stolpen begins around 1218, when Bishop Bruno II asked the diocesan chapter of the bishopric of Meissen for a certain amount of silver. In fact, Bruno needed 168 marks, which equate to about 40 kilograms of this precious metal, because he intended to buy Stolpen Castle from a Slavic nobleman called Moiko. After that trade, the Meissen bishops began to purposefully colonize Greater Stolpen as they wanted to establish their own seigneury. Stolpen, however, developed into the one and only center of power of the Meissen bishops, who resided as imperial rulers at the castle. The Protestant Reformation in Saxony, which was introduced by Duke Henry the Pious in 1539, finally forced all bishops to live in Stolpen. Around that period, a further attraction of the region was mentioned for the first time, namely Stolpen basalt, which is a natural landmark nowadays. The term basalt was coined by Georgius Agricola, who is considered the founder of modern mineral science. In 1546, Agricola examined the hill Stolpen Castle was built on. Thus, the term basalt started to be used in Stolpen and later became known worldwide. In the basement vault of the fourth yard of the castle. There, you will get detailed information about this national geotope called the Vent of Stolpen Castle Hill. You may also have a look at the deepest well, made of basalt and which stores water in this type of rock too. In January 1559, Saxon Prince-Elector August finally managed to force Bishop John IX of Haugwitz to agree to a political restructuring. That is, after 240 years of reign by the Meissen bishops, Stolpen became annexed and thus part of the Wettin realm. Shortly after, Prince-Elector August ordered extensive building activities that turned Stolpen Castle into a Renaissance chateau. The Siegerturm, with its well-hued gables and Renaissance paintings, presents vestiges of old times, as the former Stolpen chateau appears largely destroyed nowadays. In the 17th century, Stolpen Castle mainly served as a hunting chateau and seat of the municipalities association, which governed more than 80 villages at its political peak. The military significance of Stolpen Castle was enhanced when it became Saxony's stronghold in 1675. In the 18th century, Stolpen Castle also served as a prison. In 1729, 77 servicemen were employed to carry it on. However, there's one topic most often associated with Stolpen Castle, the tragic fate of Countess Kozel, who became the most famous mistress of August the Strong. Countess Kozel fell into disgrace and was subsequently kept in custody at the Stolpen Castle over 49 years. Countess Kozel died lonely in the Johannisturm. Visitors nowadays find a permanent exhibition showing the living conditions of the very apt countess at the castle. She was buried in the castle's chapel. After its defeat in the 7 Years' War, Saxony ceased to maintain Stolpen Castle. From 1764, Stolpen Castle was no longer used for defense of the state. Stolpen Castle was abandoned and left to decay. In 1813, the Napoleonic Wars reached Stolpen. As Napoleon's troops withdrew past Stolpen, the French breached the castle's masonry deeply. 15 years later, in 1874, a watchman took up duty at Stolpen Castle. Among other things, he also guided visitors around. Since 1992, Stolpen Castle is again owned by Saxony. Today, Stolpen Castle is home of a museum and furthermore open to the public for cultural events. Nowadays, Stolpen Castle is a lively place for presenting Saxon history. You are invited to marry, celebrate or attend diverse events at Stolpen Castle. You're also welcome to take part in a journey through centuries of Saxon history yourself. So come, feel and enjoy the exceptional atmosphere at this new venue.